Hi you guys, I'm going to show you how to do the long and short satin stitch. So to start out, as usual, you always start from the back and you're going to first draw the box with your chalk pencil, your white or blue, and then you're going to bring your needle to the back and start right here in the corner. So you're going to bring your needle up and your first stitch is going to be a long stitch. So I'm going to go way up there, bring it back down, and there's my first stitch. Now your second stitch, you're going to come back up and it's going to be a short stitch. So remember to pull all the way through so you don't have any loose thread on the back end. So here I'm going to do a shorter stitch and I'm going to continue that pattern all the way through. So I'm always starting at the bottom line here and I'm going to come up, do a long stitch, so the same length as my first one, and come back down. And then my fourth one is going to be a short stitch because I'm following that pattern, long, short, long, short. And I'm always starting at the base there of the black lines. And then I'm going to continue that all the way through. So here's my short stitch, so this is the same length as my second one. And I'm going to continue that pattern, long, short, all the way to this black line. Okay, so I finished the first row. I'm all the way to the end of our square here, and now I'm going to start on our second row coming back. So I ended with my needle and thread in the bottom of my hoop. So I'm gonna come back up, and this time I'm going to come up in between my last stitch, the thread of my last stitch. So it was a short stitch, so I'm gonna come up in between that. Remember, I'm not gonna go up but the next row up against the end of it. I'm gonna go a little beneath it and then come up, and I'm gonna stagger this row as well, long, short, long, short. So here's a long stitch. Now I'm gonna come over to the next one, and as the previous one, I'm going within the stitch, so I'm going below where it ends, in between the threads so that they blend and I don't have a line. And then I'm gonna go short here. And then the next one is going, and I'm just going to continue that pattern, always going a little beneath where it ended. So here you can see, here's the end of the stitch. I'm going to go below it in here to start the next row. And by doing that, you blend your stitches, so you get a solid block of satin stitch without any lines. You don't want a straight line going across there. It's an unattractive look. So that's why you always have to go a little below the end, and that will allow you to blend it. And remember, you want your stitches right next to each other. So I'm just staggering the stitch length as I go in the second row. And there you can see it's all blended together and it's forming a solid. I can't see any of the fabric through where the stitches are, and I'll just continue that. And then if I need a third row, I'd continue across, coming the other direction, and that third row wouldn't be staggered, it would be just ending where the black line is. Okay, if you have any questions, post them on Google Classroom and I can help you through there. Bye you guys.